Good morning and welcome to the Focus Show, this time around the Medical Focus. In today's show, we will be talking to Henriette Lambrecht, the editorial coordinator of the Focus Medical Edition, and our in-studio guests are Roland Strudwig from RMA and Violet Mureko, who is a life coach. Do stay tuned as we delve into the medical world in this Focus Edition.
At Specsavers, we're committed to offering affordable and professional eye care. That's why we're offering 1,500 Namibian dollars worth of savings with our winter promotion. Get a free frame up to the value of 1,500 Namibian dollars, or use the 1,500 Namibian dollars on one of our leading lens enhancements. To qualify, simply purchase a comprehensive eye examination and prescription frame and lenses. Book online or call your nearest store today. Specsavers, for affordable eye care and a whole lot more. T's and C's apply.
I'm now joined by Henriette Lambrecht, the editorial coordinator for the Medical Focus Edition. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, Glenora. I'm excited, I'm relieved,
I can see it in your face. I can see it in your face.
To something, but it's a very proud mom.
Yes. How does it feel? I mean, you know, the edition is out. It was, I'm sure, a lot of long nights.
Yes, long weekends, long nights.
How was the process, and also why was the focus this time around on the medical aspect of things?
Glenora, I took a very deliberate decision in 2020, when was COVID, 2020, in COVID time, that I want to focus more on inspirational stories, people who woke up one day and decided, no, I don't want to have this corporate life, just an example, not me, and change their life. So I decided to make it an holistic approach, more to health, not focusing so much on medicals per se, but more on health, and choosing articles that inspire and empower, and also focusing mind, body, soul. So it's a totally holistic approach.
That question, and it's good that you brought that up. Why is it so important that we not only have dialogues around our health and also the medical world, but also that we start having content that talks about the health aspects of our lives, and also technically also the medical field?
You see, Glenora, I strongly feel that your mind influences what happens in your body. Your body influences what happens in your mind. So if one of them is out of touch, or it's then it filters down to the other one. So that's why I take this holistic approach. So if you can fix your mind, then you will fix your body as well.
Wow. So mind over matter.
Yes, exactly.
Mind
there you
over
go.
matter. Definitely. I also do believe in that. Like a lot of people say that most of our diseases come from this little word, stress.
Yes, yes.
Most,
Your mental.
yes, I've heard that from more than one doctor. Like once you fix here, the rest follows. Getting back to the focus edition, the medical focus edition, what were the challenges that you faced in all you and your team that you guys faced bringing us this wonderful edition?
My challenge with the medical is always sleep. I don't find time during the day, so I normally do it after hours, through nights, and then over weekends. So if you look back, you like a birth, you remember the pain and the sweat and the tears, but you know what, I'm so inspired every single year with the people that I interviewed. Violet Mureka, that will also be a guest here. I get a new zest for life when I'm done with it. So I don't know, I can't speak about my marketer. We worked very, very, very hard. But yeah, the challenges, I don't know. No, there was no challenges for me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good to hear.
I love it.
That it was a smooth sailing ship.
Yes, yeah.
And on that note, since we're talking all things health, what's your number one tip, especially for yourself, your go-to tip that keeps you sane, that keeps you zen, that keeps you, I think, in the right spirits or in a healthy body, mind, and spirit? Yes,
you just mentioned now mind over matter. Yeah, as I'm sitting here, I'm actually so tired because it's you are so relieved when it's all done. So I think just to separate things. So when you go home after work, leave the work at home and just focus on my family. I plotter around the garden. Just find your own rituals that keeps you calm and going.
That's beautiful. Gardening is actually very good for you. I've heard so many wonderful experiences that people have had while taking up gardening. So thank you for that. Just to be
out there.
Yes,
outdoors,
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thanks
that was
so much,
Henriette, our editorial coordinator. After the break, she's going to be speaking to Violet Mureka, a life coach. Do stay tuned.
Now, one of the very inspirational people that I had the privilege to interview for this year's Focus is Violet Moreku, which is you are a life coach. Welcome, Violet.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Henriette.
It is my honor. Violet, please explain what is a life coach?
So, a life coach, I would like to call, is somebody who takes you from A to B, where B is a better place. When you look at life, you look at how many times do we wake up in the morning and we're hoping that the day should just fly by quickly, mainly because we don't have goals that excite us. So a life coach is somebody that asks you questions, thought-provoking questions that can give you clarity with your goals and where you want to be in life.
It's like planting the seeds to grow. You help people to plant that, or you plant that seeds.
Yeah, most of us have so much potential hidden within us, but because of maybe limiting beliefs or preconceived ideas that we have about the world around us, we are limited and we actually don't let this seed bloom and become a beautiful flower in the garden. So a life coach is really an accountability partner, that person that you can rely on when you feel overwhelmed and things are just too much in life. We just give you that clarity, because one of the things the mind loves is clarity. Exactly. If you don't give your mind a road path to where it should go, most of the time you just lose focus and do whatever comes.
And it's an objective partner, Violet, because I know I don't know with you, but the voice in our heads is always negative, and you want that neutral, positive voice.
Yes. I mean, there are always two choices in life, and obviously there's the easier one, and then most of the time we are told that when you do easy stuff now, your life will be harder in the future. So as human beings, we are prone to do the things that are easier, and now it doesn't even help with technology that has actually been bombarding us with so many things. We get distracted from our goals and
overwhelmed.
Yes.
Violet, your journey as a life coach, was there a specific reason you decided to become a life coach?
Yeah, there were so many signs, especially in the times when I was a young girl. I used to cry for anything that hurts people. I just had a heart for animals, people, and so I felt one day I'm going to be a psychologist. But then it was until 2014 when I realized that I was not entirely happy where I was, and I thought there was always more that I could do. And that's when I decided to become a life coach, to see what's on the other side, because I was never happy with where I was in life.
Your journey up until now, working with people, guiding them through their lives, would you say it enriches you as a person as well, Violet?
Very much. When I decided to become a life coach, I thought that I was going to transform people's life, but the life that was transformed was my life.
Which is also awesome, because it means you're also growing with
my clients as well. Yes, very much. I'm growing each and every time I interact with a person. I learn something new from the person. And one thing about a life coach is that we don't tell you what to do with your life, but I try my very best to jump into your shoes and walk a mile in your shoe and see what you've gone through, and also unblock some very much blocks that we actually held for such a long time that they've become a reality for us, but they are actually not. So it's really an interesting field. It frees up the mind. It shows, opens up the soul for new things. So it's just an extraordinary.
It clears the path.
Yes, it does. In many ways, because my deepest focus is the mind, body, and soul, just like you as well. Some of the interests, and I believe that most of us are not are sick because there are certain things that are going on through our minds that are causing the external environment to be the way it is. So there are diseases and stuff that can be cured by the medical field, but there's also a lot that we can do within us that can change the external environment.
Yeah, we have that power inside of each one of us.
I believe that deeply.
I'm inspired. Thank you so much, Violet. Please have a look at her. You've got a Facebook page, Violet.
Yeah, I do have. I have a Facebook page. at Elevate Edify Life Coaching, which is my life coaching business. Then we do one-on-one coaching sessions, which last from 45 minutes to an hour. We also have group sessions every month where we come, interact, share a topic that is relevant at that time. So it's a beautiful community of people that are trying to grow to a different level of our lives.
And be better people,
yes.
For a better world.
Yes, yes, definitely.
I will be there next month. So thank you very much, Violet. Please look up Edify.
All right, thank you,
Violet.
Henriette.
Now, it wouldn't be the Medical Focus Show if we didn't touch on a little bit on the medical aid world. I'm joined by Roland Strudwig from RMA, here to give us just a little bit on the medical aid world. Good morning, how are you?
Morning, it's always good to be here.
It's good to have you here. First question, the medical costs are going high. How can we keep our out-of-pockets, you know, what we pay out, just a little bit on the low side of things?
So I think it's quite interesting. Well, the readers will also see today in the Medical Focus, Renaissance isn't the only one who's talking about this. I see NHP, one of the other large medical aids, also has this topic, and it's because it's really coming up and people are asking what can they do to avoid co-payments, you know, use medication in a way that's more sustainable for their bank accounts. And one of the things that people will be hearing a lot about the last while on radio, in the newspaper, is the first topic, and that is generic medication. Now, I think it's important for us to explain why medical aids are saying use generic medication, it's more affordable, you're going to pay less out of your pocket. And that's because on average, generic medication can be up to 70% cheaper than the branded counterparts. And I mean, Renaissance members are going to think, okay, but Roland, why will I use generic medication? I've got a benefit that pays for my co-payments. Yes, you do, but your benefit still has a benefit limit. Now, using branded medication, that benefit limit for your co-payment is going to run out a lot faster than using something that's up to 70% more affordable.
And also just as effective.
So just as effective. I think we're going to touch on that just now.
Yes.
But what's very interesting is the reason that medical aids in Namibia are pushing the generic medication at the moment is just the percentage of medication being used in Namibia that's generic. So in the USA, I mean, we always use the USA as a nice measuring stick, 90% of all medication used are generics. In the UK, so England, we're looking at 80% of all medication used generic. What do you think is the percentage in Namibia?
I have no idea, actually. I'm curious.
So 30%.
Wow.
Is the average amount, the percentage of medication that's generic in Namibia is only 30%. So first I have to say congratulations to Renaissance members, because we're almost at the 50%. We're climbing towards that 50%.
Wow, awesome.
But the Namibian average is 30%.
Now, I just want to find out, before we get into the next question, would you say, is it the people that are prescribing the medication, or how come customers are more prone to not buying generic medication?
So I think here we can touch on exactly what you mentioned just now, the effectiveness of generics.
Yes.
There's a stigma that generic medication is cheaper because it's not as effective as the branded medication.
Yes.
So just to explain how the medication research process goes and why it's cheaper. When a new medication is discovered in a lab, they get the patent right on that medication, which means for about 10 to 20 years, only that one brand sells that type of medication. But they've gone through the research costs, the marketing cost, the testing costs, so they've had a lot of costs that they now need to make up. So they
get the marketing advantage for a period of time.
They ask a higher price, they have the marketing advantage. Then after that period is done, other companies that specialize in generic medications can use that exact same active ingredient and create a generic medication. But they haven't had the marketing costs, they haven't had the research costs, they haven't had any of those costs associated, which means they can bring the cost down far below what the branded medication can ask. And just to put people at rest, so to be called a generic of something, you need to have the exact same active ingredients as the branded medication. Now, obviously, people know the branded medication. They are the ones that advertise. So we are prescribed on the branded medication name, but you as a medical aid member or anybody of the public, if you take your script to the pharmacy, you can ask the pharmacy, are there any generic alternatives? And a pharmacist is allowed to substitute a branded medication with the generic alternative.
Oh, yes. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So you don't need to ask your doctor, please prescribe generics.
Oh, I can just ask. You can take the
script and you can ask at the pharmacy, do any of these have generics? Because like I mentioned now, a lot of the newer medication won't have generics yet, because they're still in that period. But a lot of the older ones, the ones that we know well, the Myprodols and those types of things, they all have their generics as well.
And I think it's also a matter of conversations. I would have not known that there was even a difference between, I would just take what I'm told or given by the pharmacist in terms, I wouldn't have known to ask for it.
Exactly.
Because I didn't know it exists, or I didn't have the kind of conversations around it. But just to round up, why is it so important for members to go for health checkups?
So I think it's the old saying, and that is that prevention is better than cure. So your health checkups, you have preventative benefits for a reason for going for those health checkups. If you can, for example, catch something very early, it's going to be more affordable to treat it, which means it's lighter in your pocket. You're going to have more successful treatment, which means you're very likely going to be able to catch it before it progresses to a chronic disease. I was speaking to Rika a bit earlier. The statistic at the moment globally is that if you live to the age of late 80s, 50% of people globally will have cancer, a sort of cancer in their lifetime. 50%.
That is so scary. That is a scary statistic.
An insane amount. And that is why you have your preventative benefits. You need to go for your screenings. Don't, if you've got something that looks strange on your skin, don't think, no, it's okay, I'm just going to leave it. Go to your doctor, go have it checked out. And I think this is also where the conversation comes in. That's very important around having a GP that you can trust. So we're seeing a trend in Namibia where a lot of Namibians are going straight to specialists. But specialists are exactly that. They specialize in a certain field. So if you're going to a lung specialist with something on your skin, they're going to tell you, no, but you need to go to the skin specialist. Now, you're going to have consultation fees where you're now going to have to pay for two specialists, where if you have a GP, the GP is going to say, okay, you need to go to the skin specialist for this, and they can refer you.
Oh, I see.
And that's another thing that you can do to really cut down on your costs, is have your GP. In the old days, they used to call it your house doctor. That you can trust, that you can go to as your first point of contact, and have him as a medical expert, him or her, as a medical expert to refer you to the specialist that's going to be best able to treat you when it's needed.
If need be. Sometimes also not needed. Thank you so much, Roland. I mean, we can discuss this forever, but we run out of time. Thank you for joining us today morning.
Great. Thank you for having me here.
All right, I was just speaking to Roland from RMA, and with that, we've come to the end of our Medical Focus show. And as they say, he who has health has wealth. From me, Glenn Rashipura, until next time.
Give it to me like
we've always had our focus on the future, the authors of our own unorthodox stories.
Because see, we're different. We're reaching for our goals.
Going against the grain and living to tell the tale.
We see our journey differently.
That has brought us to the singular moment of freedom.
Healthy societies do not just start with healthcare. They begin with communities enabling us to become the best versions of ourselves, to embark on life's realities. Somebody to lend a helping hand. Somebody who always sees the human being behind the human body. At Mediclinic, we pride ourselves on improving your quality of life. It's always been our business to care every step of the way. Mediclinic, expertise you can trust.